When thinking of the most important players in the justice system, it is common to jump straight to individuals such as judges, prosecutors, and police investigators. However, there is one position that contains essentially unrestricted power to present to juries their own beliefs and assumptions about crime scene evidence as fact, often making them the pivotal witnesses in murder trials. This same power also allows them to indefinitely delay or completely undercut investigations into suspicious deaths that happen within their jurisdiction. The Department of Justice website defines the role of forensic scientists as to examine and analyze evidence from crime scenes and elsewhere to develop objective findings that can assist in the investigation and prosecution of perpetrators of crime or absolve an innocent person from suspicion. This series will delve into a few especially strange cases that were led by forensic examiner Dr. Erik Mitchell in order to illustrate the true power that this position holds. Erik Mitchell has had a long and turbulent career as a medical examiner, spanning over 3 decades in multiple states. During his career, he has made headlines for his controversial decisions and questionable ethics, the likes of which have caused many innocent people to be convicted for crimes they did not commit, as well as other cases where Mitchell's inefficiency and indecision has allowed for investigations to go cold, where Mitchell has either closed a case before an investigation played out, or waited too long to make a ruling about the death, and by the time he finally did, all of the leads had dried up, leaving the victim's family without closure. In many of these cases, the family is inevitably left wondering what really happened to their loved one, and since then have spent many years searching for answers.
November 1999 in Oskaloosa, Kansas. 14-year-old Camille Arfman went missing after getting off the school bus. She lived with her older sister, her sister's boyfriend Floyd Bledsoe, and the couple's 2 kids. Camille's body was discovered 3 days later in a ditch near the home of Bledsoe's parents.
It feels like maybe in a way that I've lost a daughter, more than just a sister-in-law, I guess is the way you'd put it.
Camille had been sexually assaulted and shot 4 times. Floyd's brother Tom Bledsoe was the prime suspect and was originally charged after he confessed to the crimes during the police interrogation. However, the charges were dropped a week later after Tom recanted his statement and then blamed the crime on his brother Floyd. Tom had disliked his brother nearly their entire lives and now was about to pin the case entirely on him. Despite the fact that there was no DNA linking Floyd to the crime, Floyd Bledsoe was arrested and charged with the rape and murder of Camille Arfman. The prosecution's key evidence was the testimony of Tom. Erik Mitchell was the medical examiner in this case and testified in court on behalf of the prosecution. He determined that Camille was shot, but much else was inconclusive. He could not determine when Camille's other injuries occurred. Narrowing the time of death was also proved to be inconclusive. He said that Camille could have been killed anywhere from 12 hours to several days before her body was discovered. Mitchell said narrowing the time of death down further may work on television but not in reality. Also inconclusive was the sexual assault exam. He could not determine if a sexual assault occurred. Further DNA testing, which might have shed light on that, had been halted. Floyd Bledsoe was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison.
Floyd was convicted of the murder, sexual assault, and kidnapping of his 14-year-old sister-in-law. His brother Tom initially confessed to the crimes, but later recanted and placed the blame on Floyd. Despite no DNA evidence tying him to the crime, Floyd was convicted and sentenced to life in prison.
Bledsoe's legal team is frustrated.
So this is a clear case to you?
Absolutely a clear case of actual innocence.
In 2015, new DNA testing of sperm found on Camille's body was proven to exclude Floyd, and was also proven to be a match with his brother Tom. Floyd Bledsoe's lawyers filed a motion for a new trial based on this DNA testing. A few weeks later, Floyd's brother Tom Bledsoe committed suicide in his car in a Walmart parking lot. He left behind a note where he confessed to the crimes and proclaimed that Floyd was innocent. In the note, Tom claimed that the Jefferson County Police and County Prosecutor Jim Vanderbilt pressured him to pin the crime on Floyd and to keep his mouth shut. The charges against Floyd Bledsoe were dropped, and he was released from prison in 2015 after serving 16 years behind bars. After his release, he was invited to be a part in witnessing the signing of a new Kansas bill that would compensate the wrongfully convicted. However, the state of Kansas still fought with Bledsoe about whether or not he deserved the compensation money.
But what he thought was a done deal is now a question mark. The state of Kansas has not granted his compensation request. The Attorney General's office is now evaluating the merits of his claim.
It's like being on trial all over again.
In May of this year, Kansas passed compensation legislation that is widely considered to be the nation's gold standard. It offers $65,000 per year of wrongful imprisonment, $25,000 per year spent on parole, as well as other forms of assistance. It became the 33rd state to pass this kind of legislation in the U.S., but compensation packages vastly differ by state. Wisconsin, for example, offers only $5,000 per year of incarceration, with a cap of $25,000 regardless of time served, while others like Missouri will only compensate if the exoneration was based on DNA evidence. 17 states remain without any type of compensation whatsoever.
Eventually, after another legal battle, the state finally awarded Floyd Bledsoe with a compensation payout for the years they stole from him.
I'm just glad this stays here.
What's the first thing you want to do?
Get out of the corner.
Still, no amount of money can take back the time of years lost.
How did you feel going through such a unjust situation?
That first year that I was away from my boys, that was the most miserable time I've ever done. I missed Thanksgiving, I missed Christmas with them. And at Christmas Eve, I went to call home. And they were like, "It's Floyd, do we want to accept?" And they hung up the phone. That was the loudest click I had ever heard in my entire life. And it broke me.
Floyd's battle to start over has been the focus of a KCTV5 investigative special, where Bledsoe and others shared how wrongful incarcerations destroyed some of the best years of their lives.
There's stuff that'll never come back. You know, there's stuff that you'll never be able to do. You know, now my kids are like grown adults. They have their own lives. You know, they don't call me Dad. They call me Floyd. They call another man Dad. In prison, you never see the stars. You know, when's the last time you walked outside and seen the stars? And really paid attention to them, you know. But you do once they're gone. Nothing will ever give me back that 16 years. Nothing.